Hello Kiss fans. In today's video I'll be talking about Vinnie Vincent and why he left Kiss. Vincent John Cassano, better known as Vinnie Vincent, was born on August 6, 1952. He is a guitarist and songwriter best known for his time in Kiss between 1982 and 1984. Vincent also worked as a composer for the TV show Happy Days and later formed his own band, Vinnie Vincent Invasion, which lasted until 1988. On New Year's Eve of 1982, Kiss fans were caught by surprise. At the New Year's party, Ace Frehley didn't show up. Instead, a new face appeared, painted with an Egyptian cross, the Ankh, a symbol from ancient Egypt that represents new life. That was Vinnie Vincent, stepping in to replace Ace Frehley. Vincent was already involved with Kiss before officially joining, having co-written 3 tracks on the Creatures of the Night album and played some solos on the same record. Vinnie recorded Lick It Up, but by the end of the tour, he left the band. Later, he claimed that he was only paid $550 per week. After leaving, he went solo and formed the band Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Vincent stayed out of the spotlight for some time but returned to co-write songs with Gene Simmons for the Revenge album. Together, they created Unholy, Heart of Chrome, and I Just Wanna. At that point, Vinnie even said he wanted to rejoin Kiss. He made appearances at Kiss Expos in 1996, but only played a few songs. Around this time, he released an EP called Euphoria, with 4 previously unreleased tracks. In 1997, Vincent held a press conference announcing he would sue his former bandmates, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, accusing them of cheating him financially. However, he repeatedly lost in court. He demanded royalties for Lick It Up, but ended up losing and was ordered to pay $66,000 in attorney's fees and $15,000 in other costs. He also tried to claim additional royalties for his Revenge contributions, but the court once again ruled against him. In May 2011, Vinnie returned to the news after being arrested for domestic assault against his wife. On top of that scandal, police also discovered 4 dead dogs in sealed containers at his home. Vinnie and his wife claimed those dogs had been killed by another aggressive dog they kept on the property. Following this event, a police mugshot of Vincent circulated online, the first public photo of him in more than a decade. In January 2014, his second wife, Diane Cassano, passed away due to complications from alcoholism, leaving Vinnie widowed for the second time. That same year he auctioned off nearly everything related to his career: his Jackson guitars from his Kiss days, the belt he wore on the Lick It Up cover, his stage costumes, the publishing rights to 21 Vinnie Vincent Invasion songs, and even an unsigned contract between him and Kiss. On January 19 to 20, 2018, Vincent announced his comeback and the revival of Vinnie Vincent Invasion at the Atlanta Kiss Expo, marking his first public appearance in more than 20 years. Later that year, on October 30, he performed at a pre-Kiss cruise party in Miami alongside the band 4 by Fate, playing Lick It Up, I Love It Loud, and Cold Gin. In 2020, he released the Vinnie Vincent autographed merchandise pack, which included t-shirts, CDs, DVDs, posters, and other signed items. Vinnie Vincent left Kiss due to creative conflicts, ego clashes, and contractual disputes. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley described his behavior as unethical and dishonest, pointing to his egocentric attitude and inability to follow the band's direction. On top of that, Vincent never signed an official contract with Kiss, which led to legal battles and complications regarding his participation in tours. In short, Vinnie Vincent left Kiss because of creative conflicts, ego problems, and contractual issues, which resulted in a very troubled relationship with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. Gene and Paul rarely spoke about him, treating him as yesterday's news once Bruce Kulick took over as lead guitarist. But that changed on July 9, 1995, when Kiss took fan questions at the Worldwide Kiss Convention in Nashville. There's even a video on YouTube where Paul Stanley is asked directly, "Why did you fire Vinnie Vincent?"
I just want to know why you guys fired Vinnie Vincent. How many hours do you have? That's a fair question. It's a fair question. Vinnie was an incredibly talented guitar player and was a great talent to write with, but was not a team player and somebody who was not very honest in his dealings with the band, made us a lot of promises about what he would do and then didn't do them. And in dealing with the fans and dealing with people who've been with us for 15, 20 years, he was very disrespectful and did things that we thought were embarrassing to us, things that we wound up apologizing for. And at some point, very quickly, it became clear that Vinnie didn't belong in the band. Quite honestly, from the day that Vinnie joined the band, we weren't happy about having him, but we wanted to go out on tour, and a tour had been booked, and we didn't want to have a temporary guitar player. So we had Vinnie join, and our gut feeling was right. From the day he joined, he was a problem, and we don't need those kind of problems, and neither do you.
Specifically, just so you get it, because it's sort of, we're trying to protect Vinnie as well by not being too specific, because, some of this stuff doesn't really belong out there. Everybody deserves a private life. But look, when you go out on tour, there are guys in suits and ties who insure tours. You got to insure the people who are on tour, and when a band goes out on tour, you got to insure the band in case anybody gets sick or whatever. You lose a lot of money. So, in order for a band to insure itself, you got to show that it's a band. You got to show contracts and so on. And in order for that to happen, everybody in the band has got to be signed to the band. Got to have a piece of paper that says we're all in the same band, signed members of the band. Vinnie kept saying, I'll sign it tomorrow, I'll sign it tomorrow. He did that for a long time, years. To this day, he's never signed. And finally, he just said, fuck it, this is not worth it. And honestly, he's just, the ethics are questionable.
At one point, now that we're talking about Vinnie, okay, let's tell the truth. Actually, at one point, what Vinnie did is he sold a fan a guitar that he had never played and said it was his favorite guitar, and it was the guitar he always played, and he sold it to a fan for more than it would cost in a store. And it was that kind of stuff that we just said, this is, totally unacceptable. And we'll see you later.
Man, he had the balls to. At some convention, he shows up and says that the question was, so did you have anything to do with the solo on Unholy? Now, he wrote the song, and I'm not taking anything away from Vinnie, but he actually had the balls to say, well, yeah, we all worked on that. And man, that pissed me off when I read that. I pulled a bull right away. He said, well, look, it's Vinnie, don't let it bother you. But you gotta be a complete scumbag to pull that kind of shit.
Other than that, Bruce loves Vinnie.
Yeah, but otherwise, I love it. And you got credit where it's due. Don't steal my thunder, So where is that motherfucker?
Next question.
As for me, I think Vinnie Vincent was a guitarist who fulfilled his role in Kiss, but he also made a lot of mistakes during those years. What do you think about Vinnie Vincent?